Hey you guys, today we're going to do a recap on Tamar Get Your Life. I'm not going to have a funny intro because this really and truly was very...
serious.
Yeah. And yeah. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into it. My name is Kourtney and welcome to our channel. This is my husband.
E-Dub. Ooh, I do have lotion on. It's the lighting. Is that the lighting?
No, baby, ain't lighting. That's ash. Ooh, baby, like you been. It's like you been
dragging my knuckles.
Some flour bags. Boom, boom. Yeah. Okay. All right, keep your hands down. All right, you guys. Let me tell you what this channel is about. This channel is about Kourtney and Eddie. We do relationship topics, reviews, and right now we're going to do a recap on the total. We didn't do every episode, but we're just kind of recapping all of them combined on Tamar Get Your Life. So before we get into it, if this is your first time joining this family, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And if you're watching us via Facebook and you hadn't already, make sure that you like and follow on all social media sites. Y'all already know what to do. What? Comment down below. Okay, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your opinion, and I want to hear what did you think about the whole, I think it was like 7 episodes,
6.
4 or 5, yeah, some episodes or something like that. And so yeah, I really didn't even want to do each episode because this, like, it was more like Tamar, Goldie, and David. That's basically what it was about. It wasn't even Tamar Get Your Life. It was like, how we gonna make this stuff work? Yeah, so it was just a little bit too much for me.
It did not work at all.
Yeah,
it didn't work at all.
Okay, so you guys, let's just kind of get into it. I'm just kind of, I took some notes, but I'm just kind of hit some points on especially this last episode. So as we know, Goldie quit, and if you watch the previous ones, we know Goldie was. Let me tell you something about Goldie. I think to me she did. I believe Goldie was real. I believe she's a real person. I'm sure you can Google her and all that stuff or whatever. And I think that, her agenda of what she came was authentic. But somewhere it seemed like it was a little scripted, especially when it got to a little drama and she was like, I'm going to tell him this and I'm telling him. And just when she got drunk and fell down.
Now, that right there was probably exaggerated. But the rest of the stuff, I think it was legit, man, because David just kept coming after her, man, and I guess she just got to the point and she just had to stand up for herself.
Okay, so before we get into all that, so it starts out with, David and Tamar in the kitchen, and they're sitting down and they're talking. The producer did ask, like, what are you expecting your experience from this show? And so, David started talking about, Vince being in the house and stuff like that, and the camera crew following him around, and
you were saying that was Tamar's house, right?
Well, at that time they were in David's house, but when Vince comes, he goes over Tamar's house,
right? Because they have a child together.
Yeah, and I have no problem with her ex-husband, which is the father of her child, coming in there to drop off her son or whatever. I don't understand how David trying to control 2 households.
Especially when they're not married.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just, David's just too much.
David is a control freak.
A manipulator, very controlling. He like her boss, manager, husband, father. He like every capacity where he can have, dominion over Tamar.
And I don't know if you're going to get to all that, but I think the biggest problem with David, that David had with Goldie is he thought Goldie stood between him and Tamar.
Yep.
So he could have total control over Tamar. Yep.
He said that. He said, you're trying to separate me from Tamar.
Yeah, he felt threatened by Goldie.
And so the thing was with David, I think, where he just... Now, let me tell you this. I don't know if what Goldie was doing was witchcraft or not. I don't know. But I do know as far as dreams, they're biblical. Joseph was a dreamer, and Joseph was able to interpret the king's dream. So I don't see anything from what Goldie's doing from that. Now, when she go in and Tamar start talking to the people in the dreams, now I have a problem with that. But hey, who am I to say? And the whole thing is if David had a problem with it, instead of just pouncing and pouncing and pouncing, why don't you just go and pray about it? You say you're a bona fide Christian. You say you believe in the whole Bible. But my problem is where I have a problem with you, David. If you believe in the whole Bible, then why are you having sex before you get married? Because that's also in the Bible. So why are you trying to control Tamar with Goldie in this dream, but you're not even using the own Bible for when it came to you not having sex? When she had a problem with, hey, you got to fast from having sex, you got to cut off all communication so you can tune into your dreams for 45 days. David had a fit. He had a hissy fit and started talking about what the Bible said. My mama and them. Anyway.
Well, David used religion to kind of control Tamar.
Yeah, he did.
And
Goldie.
And Goldie, yeah. And like you said, instead of just asking Goldie and sitting down and talking to a proper, because, I can kind of see where David come from. He want to make sure, there was no witchcraft going on. Right. I understand that. But, it's the way you handle that situation. He could have went to her and hey, I need to ask you a question about this that I don't understand. And, it probably went over better with Goldie. But the way he came at her real aggressive and gonna use religion as a crutch to kind of defend what he was trying to do, by trying to control Tamar. And like I said, once again, he just felt threatened by Goldie, so he tried to find every little crook and cranny he can kind of use against Goldie to kind of push it out the way.
And then and when they sat down to eat, what did he say? He said, one thing I think that Tamar, she bounced between the two. If we watched the other episodes, she was really and truly having just this breakdown because David was just in her ear, just constantly saying something about Goldie, and she was getting frustrated. And then after Goldie was gone and she sat down and had a conversation with David as they were eating, she was like, well, I hate the way it ended. I wasn't, but I'm glad that you were able to ask the questions that you wanted to ask and stuff. And I was like, she bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, Tamar throughout the whole series was undecisive about a lot of stuff.
She really was.
She was bouncing back and forth between decisions she was trying to make. You don't know where she was coming from. One minute she was laughing, joking. Next minute she breaks down. Next minute she shut down. So she was just all over the place, man.
And the part where I wanted to address what David said, David said, we prayed. I prayed. My mama prayed. We all prayed. And what Goldie at now?
Yeah, I guess he was trying to say his prayer works.
And he said prayer works. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something, David. That wasn't prayer. That was not prayer. That was manipulation. That was control. That was intimidation. And you push that lady right on out the door. Because let me tell you something. When you pray, you don't have to put your hands into it, because the Bible says the battle is not ours, but it belongs to God. So if you felt that strongly about it, you would have said, listen, Tamar, you go ahead and do that, but I'm going to be on this side praying. You pray, and then we're going to see what God say. And you pray about that situation, and Goldie would have gotten up and said, you know what, I don't think I need to do this no more. And without any kind of intimidation, any fussing, any fighting, she would have just left on her own, or something would have happened. So to me, that's when prayer works, not when you put your hand into it and then you say, oh, prayer works. No, that was manipulation, bro.
And yet he did all that, and where is he at now?
Yep.
See, God don't like ugly.
And then what? Who were praying now? Mm-hmm. Where them prayers at now? Is your mama praying? Did y'all get back together?
Hey, look where you at now.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the lunch with James and Tamar. Now, let me say what I've observed with Tamar. And I've been following, my husband he could tell you, he was watching the Braxtons before I was.
But the first season was lit. I enjoyed the first season. And the second season, that's just my personal opinion.
I'm a late person when it came to the Braxtons. I was not watching them when they were on. I think I ended up some years ago watching them on YouTube, and I just kind of caught up with the seasons. And I have been a fan of Tamar, and I still am. Always have and always will be. I know she got her ways. I know she's spoiled. She all of that, but I still love me some Tay-Tay. So that is what it is.
I just want to know what's going on between her and Tracy, man. It's like they got some real deep issues going on.
So, but you getting ahead of it. So, yeah, but before we get into that, I wanted to say this. You feel like I'm over talking? You can't talk.
I go on.
All right, so I wanted to say this, that one thing I've noticed about Tamar is when she has females around her, some kind of way.
What females?
Female friends. You hadn't seen, but like on Tamar and Vince and in the past and stuff like that. Most of them, those relationships are strained. Y'all see the relationship what happened with she was and she may still be, but maybe they don't show on camera, but she's still with Tiny. Her and Tiny were friends, but then something happened with Tiny friend, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff. I think in Monica, all that stuff or whatever. But it seems as though when Tamar is around females, there is some kind of beef that's gonna happen. So instead of her putting herself in that position, she puts herself around gay guys, all stylish friends, everything just gay, because I think they ain't gonna cause no drama and they cater to her.
Well, Tamar is the type of woman, she's not gonna bite her tongue. She's gonna say what she says, and it probably rubs women the wrong way, and it just causes tension between her and her female friends. And the friends she hangs with now, they don't mind that. You know, Tamar is flamboyant. You know, she acts like them. So it's, hey, they jail together.
So they were sitting down and talking, and y'all know James. I had to tell who James. I had to remind my husband who James was and how he came on, being a friend of Tamar. But anyway, them patty pies. That's how James got to be known. But they was talking about the relationship between. First, Tamar was throwing shade with the bachelorette party and stuff like that with her sisters.
Yeah, man. They said. I'd like to know what happened, what went down at that party, man. She said it sucked. Yeah, but something else went down, I think. But
I guess we'll see it on the Braxtons, and I will be doing a review on that. I don't know if my husband's gonna participate, but I will be doing a review on it. But she was just saying that about her and David gave her the keys to his house on the second date. Okay, man.
You know why he did that, man? Why? He goes, man. This Tamar Braxton, so if I give her something, I kind of like show her I'm really into her like that, and and it's like a commitment. You can't give her a ring right now; it's too soon. So what's the best thing to give her? Keys to your house.
Mm-hmm. It must have worked. She said that she was talking about a ring, and she wanted, of course, to get engaged. She wants to get engaged. She wants to get married to David.
But they was engaged.
Not at the time of this film.
He was acting like that they weren't engaged.
Man.
And
so she said that she wants to get a ring, but she was seeing this lady in, I guess, the hotel that they were in or whatever, and she admired this lady ring, and the lady said, oh, you talking about this ring? Because it was big. And she said, well, let me tell you something, the bigger the ring, the bigger the problems.
That's why I got my wife a small ring.
Baby.
So small, you got to get a doggone microscope to look at it.
And we got little problems.
Small problems, baby.
Okay, so they did ask what was a little part of, what, Tamar is getting frustrated. She's getting frustrated with production. She's getting frustrated with the camera people. I don't understand
why she was lashing out at production, man. She signed up for this.
She did.
When you sign up for this, you got the contract you got to honor. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why she was lashing out. Them guys, they didn't do nothing. They was doing their jobs.
Yeah, they was. And one thing that
she's difficult to work with. I see that right now.
Yeah, she is. It's one thing that I forgot the question that was asked. James asked Tamar, but she was like, "Well, what happened to Goldie?" And then she was like, "Did you tell my friend to ask me this question?" And so he was like, no, I didn't tell him to ask no crazy questions or nothing like that or whatever. So it's like, yeah, Tamar doing
hard to work with, man. If I was production, man, I couldn't do it.
So she sit down in the chair. She was late. She arrived at 6:48. She had to be somewhere at 7 o'clock. At 7:01, she stopped talking.
I try to like Tamar, and I do like her to a certain extent. But when you pull stunts like that, man, it's hard to like you. It's hard to show you compassion because you're doing it to yourself.
Let me tell you something. Tamar needs some deep therapy. And she don't need to be on no show trying to get no help, no Ayanna, no none of that, because she don't. She don't.
I don't know what she's doing right now. Last thing we heard, she was in a ward somewhere.
Well, I think she was getting some help.
Yeah. Okay.
But she needs deep therapy. She needs to pull back from cell phones, from social media, all that stuff. And she should have never gotten into a relationship without getting therapy and seeing about herself before she got into another relationship.
Especially with a person like Henry.
Who was Henry?
Get my shows confused. Oh, Marriage at First Sight on Henry.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy. They blurred together. I'm talking about David, man.
Yeah, David.
Yeah.
So, but because her events had a not so good marriage, and so she should have gotten some therapy because of the things that Tamar been through growing up. You know, you young, you starting out in this business. It's a lot.
Let's go back to Vince. And when I was watching the Braxton, I never saw that in Vince. I never saw, the stuff Tamar said Vince did to her. I never saw that in Vince. I thought Vince was a likable guy, I never saw it, but hey, I think she's still bringing that baggage with her.
Yeah.
And that's why she having issues right now because of the baggage she bringing from her first marriage.
So David and Mona sit down and talk. Now, you go ahead and talk about that part.
Who's Mona?
Okay, so how...
I know.
And once again, he said, I overtalk and don't give him a chance to talk. And then he said... David's going to be David. He explained to Mona what happened at the party and stuff, and him between her and Tracy. And like Mona told David, Tamar knew if she knew she was going to be acting the way she was acting and having issues with it, she should have never signed on. Mm-hmm. And I think she was taking a pot shot at David too when she was saying that. You know what I'm saying? She was. And cause he talking about all this. And if you didn't want the cameras in your face, if you didn't want people to see what's going on in your relationship, do not sign on for a TV show like that. And they got to understand that. And for Tamar to act the way she did in the last episode, when they was trying to interview her, she didn't want to say nothing and showed up late. Baby girl, you don't want to sign up for that. Yeah, she did.
Okay, you signed that contract. So you can't get in your feelings saying the production crew stabbed you in the back. How? Why would she say that anyway?
Well, let me see. So because you get in the head. So like when Mona was sitting down and talking to David, one thing I wanted to say is she was just asking David, how do we get over this hump? And David brought up the issue with the sisters. Well, what they got to do with anything? Hey, David has a bad habit of telling Tamar business. Let Tamar tell her own business. Just like on that 911 call when he's talking about, well, she, is upset over the show, and this is why. David, how do you get out of a contract?
David likes to deflect. He likes to deflect. He don't make sure you don't put the finger at him, so he throw everybody else under the bus. Mm-hmm. And that's what basically he did. That's why he brought the sisters up.
Yeah.
What Mona was trying to probably say is, how can we get Tamar over the hump? Because you are the one to keep him from going over the hump.
Because mind you, they were supposed to go in there and talk about the issue with Goldie.
Yeah.
Now what happened to that? But he brought up what with the issue at the bachelorette party.
It's a deflection.
And then talking about how Tracy pulled Tamar hair and pulled a hand and stuff. And I'm saying, what do you got to do with anything? That's a personal business. Why is you sharing that?
Because it's a deflection. Because he don't want the finger to be pointed at him. That's what it is.
So let's go on to the last part where, pretty much. Well, Tamar, she is talking to Mona, and
they showed the clips for the season.
Yeah, they showed the footage of the stuff that she, and so.
It's like she didn't remember some of that stuff, man.
I don't know if they was editing or what. They showed something, then they with her mouth over there and they show something. I don't know.
Oh, now sometimes you look at yourself on camera, you see yourself do all that. You be like, oh, I did all that. And I
don't think she was saying that. She feels like production took the clips.
That's why she said it.
And twisted it to make it seem like something was. But like people have always said with reality TV, you only gonna get what you give out. So if I'm not acting a fool, they can't show me acting a fool. You know, no matter how they twist it or put this there and put that there, I know they got to put stuff together to get the ratings up. But if I'm not acting a fool, acting a monkey, they can't get that out of me.
That was what David told Mona. He said, you know, either you want her to get help or you want your ratings to go up. You know, and Mona said, well, first of all, she signed on for this.
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't need to go that base. That's what she was saying. And when it comes to the clips she was watching, I think some of the stuff she probably was embarrassed to see how she was acting.
I think so too.
You know what I'm saying? That's why she was like, yeah, like I said, when you see yourself on camera acting a jack, you know what I'm about to say, you know, yeah, it kind of hits home.
So Mona said the whole thing, because, you know, Tamar kept shutting down, so people had to come and sit in the chair like what we sitting there to talk to y'all like we talking to y'all.
They had to get the lawyer to come in there and talk to her.
You're getting ahead of it.
I
ain't even there yet.
Okay.
Still with Mona. Okay.
Mona was like a footnote, but go ahead.
So Mona is the
I know she's the producer. Yeah, I know that.
So anyway, so Mona was basically sitting there talking, and she said the whole thing what we was trying to do with Tamar is to really, when they say Tamar get your life, is to get her repaired and get her revelation over stuff. You know, that's why Goldie was coming in so she can have stuff of her dreams. And
the question is, who hired Goldie? Was the production?
Production. Okay. It was part of production.
Oh, you know, so I thought Tamar went and found it.
Okay. It was part of production. Production brought her in, and it was actually working. You know, she was breaking down them dreams, and then she said, you know, well, David is the one that's the master manipulator in this and stuff like that. At that point, it seemed like David was hurrying trying to get her up out of there.
Because Goldie saw through David.
Oh yeah, she did.
And David knew that, so man, you gotta get her out of the equation, man. And I think, you know, to go off the show, I think I heard the sister say something about David.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really care for him too tough.
Yeah,
man.
They did. They didn't. They said some stuff. I watched the clip with Tawana, and she was saying some stuff like David is trash, and then Tony went, I think, on Instagram and said, David, listen, you this, you that, because I think he started talking about, you know, beware the Braxton children should all beware.
This was lately though.
Yeah, this was lately. Yeah. You know, so yeah, some stuff, because, you know, we all know what happened, you know, incident with Tamar and the police was called and all that stuff or whatever. So so Tamar just basically feels like they telling a different story than what was actually, you know, seen. But
it's right there.
They can't do nothing if you don't give them nothing.
Well, the thing is, you know, you're right. Goldie, to me, at the beginning, it seemed like it was helping Tamar.
Yeah.
But David just kept getting away, and it's like Tamar had to. I don't want to say she had to choose, but it seemed like, you know, she really didn't take up for Goldie that much.
Oh no, she didn't, because it's like she switched.
Right.
At that point, I don't know who was working the witchcraft, Goldie or David, because at that point it was a switch in Tamar. Now that Goldie was at the picture, it was a switch of, oh yeah, oh you my hero, yeah, oh yeah. But when Goldie was there, it was such a war going on, and she didn't, like she said, she didn't know who to take sides on, your side, my side, or his side. Yeah,
I actually think she kind of basically took David's side throughout the whole show, because the episode when Tamar was at the bar and Goldie is sitting there waiting. I said, why do you do somebody like that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like she never respect Goldie time.
Yeah.
So,
and then too, another thing, I heard the clip. You know, this is current now, but I heard the clip on Twitter where Tamar basically was just saying, you know, nobody wins when family fights, and I heard the actual clip of her saying, basically taking up for David. She said, I'm not trying to take up for him, but, David has helped me through this and da-da-da-da, whatever. So we really truly don't need to come for him and all that stuff, whatever. So I said, she's still taking up for him.
Well, David make it easy for people to come at him, man.
Yeah,
the way he acts, man. It's like he's arrogant. He's shady. He's shifty. That's a person you don't want to trust.
Yeah, so basically my husband already said that part where, the attorneys, Tamar pretty much shut down. Now, let me tell you what I noticed. When Tamar sat there and she had her makeup and the makeup guy was telling her, just push through. And she was and they was asking her questions, her head was down. I really saw a different person. At that moment, she really looked not well. She really looked a little demonic, like deranged a little bit because of the way that she was looking down. It wasn't.
Yeah, I noticed the eyebrow kind of. Something in the eye.
It was just something that was just not right.
It's like that part, and it's like she went back to a child state.
That's true. That too, I noticed.
Yeah, like she went back to a child state.
Yeah, and she was like,
It's like, so
I noticed that.
Yeah.
And the attorneys, because she signed a contract, told her basically, look,
you got to do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you the questions because you might get on your nerves and you easy to snap on here, but I'm gonna ask you the questions and and she answered it.
She did the bare minimum.
Yeah, she did and got up out of there and we ain't seen no more since.
Yeah.
So I did write down why she said she wanted to do it. She said she wanted to do a power. She wanted to do this to challenge herself. She wanted to allow other women to know that they can have a second chance at doing something. She said that she want to be able to trust people because right now she don't trust people, and she said she really don't trust herself. So she wanted to be able to show her flaws and to be honest and face battles and conquer some things. Well, that didn't happen.
No, that didn't happen at all. And the person she shouldn't trust is the person that kept staying in her ear all the time. That was David.
I really think that if they would have went through the process, Tamar would have had some revelation. She would have had some inner help along with sidebar therapy off camera.
I think Tamar needs to surround herself with some good people. Mm-hmm. Some good people that's not, it's there to help her. Yeah. Not for their own interest.
Not for their own interest.
Yeah, and I think the people, not all of them, but the major ones, they there for their own interest.
That's what she has. Yes, people around her. The people that's around her, they'll laugh at her. Oh, you do that. Oh, you do. They yes, people around her. She needs somebody that she can trust.
Just tell her the truth. No, man, you don't need to be doing that, girl. Sit your butt down.
But then, if somebody tell her the truth, like her sister, then she end up going ham and not having a good conversation with them. So
yeah, see, you will never get nowhere. You got to have a open dialogue and a civil dialogue. Somebody, you're not gonna agree with everybody, and Tamar has to understand that. That's what I think she's lacking in the maturity to understand that. And I hope and pray that she gets better.
Yeah, I'm praying for her.
And I hope when she gets into another relationship, all that baggage is gone.
Yeah, and don't get in one no time soon.
Yeah, and don't get in one somebody like David, man.
Yeah.
The point is, you don't have to find a rich man. Okay, you don't have to find a man that has a lot of money. You have to find a man that's gonna treat you well. Okay, a man. That's wrong with some of these people. They try to find these men that got a lot of money and they be dogging them out.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I hope she gets well, man. I really do.
Well, that's our recap on it. Like I said, I love Tamar Braxton. I always have, always will, regardless of how much she may act out there. I really think that Tamar needs a lot of mental help, a lot of mental therapy, and I pray to God that she gets what she needs because she needs it. But I think she's a great asset to entertainment. I think she's very entertaining, but I think that we don't have to see an angry, sarcastic Tamar. I think she's good with just flowing and just flowing. She had a show. She got a show on VH1. I had one with the hair thing. I wasn't too fond of it because I just think one fully Tamar, but I think I like her entertainment side, her comedy side. So I know like she said, she can't be on 100 all the time.
Well, the main thing is, I hope she's, like I said, hope she gets well, not just for herself, for a child. Cause I know she has a son she's trying to raise, and you just get better. Come to Alabama, go in the country, just enjoy the country life for a little bit.
Come on, visit us, child. We'll treat you just like family.
Yeah,
I promise you, we will, honey.
You might leave 20 and 30 pounds heavier. So we got this old lard, fat back, and cornbread, and turnip greens, and pork chops.
I'm quite sure she ain't eat that stuff before. She ain't always stayed in LA. They wasn't in LA.
No, child, can I roll with my joke? Ooh.
All right. On that note, you guys.
Eddie, you can't get a joke in. She running. I'm trying to flow with it. I was like,
all right, you guys. On that note, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you enjoyed this recap of the overall season of Tamar Get Your Life, right? Yeah, Tamar Get Your Life. Get my life.
I didn't get your life. That's it.
Ayana. All right.
Anna.
Okay. On that note, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you like us on Facebook. And I don't know why my voice is sounding like this because the seasons are changing.
Hey,
and make sure that you comment down below on all social media sites. All right, on that note, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Don't forget to do what? Go with God and let God go with you. And we will see you on the next video.
You see how she kicked me off the show? I'm a guest speaker. Come on.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Deuces.
I'm going to do the deuce. Ooh, wrong finger. See, I got lotion on that finger.